how do you get moral and political progress if you don't get truth? You believe that if you go to the academia, the world that you and I operate in, there are huge numbers of people who you think are at odds with your way of looking at the world. These are people who are not using reason for good ends. If the academy, where you would expect people to privilege reason, is filled with individuals who think in ways that you think are contrary to producing progress, how can you argue that we're moving in a positive direction?
The most general answer to your question is a belief that there has been progress is not a belief that everything gets better everywhere for everyone all the time. That wouldn't be progress. That would be a miracle. And I don't believe in miracles. Progress is incremental. It has setbacks. It has to, because it's not a force of the universe. It's not you're right that there was a conception of progress as some mystical force that carries us ever upward. That's not what I'm advocating at all. Quite the contrary. Most of the forces of the universe are kind of trying to grind us down, and we push back with deliberation, with reason, with argument, with evidence. And there's no guarantee of success. Sometimes brute force wins.
We should realize that deliberation and reason in different individuals leads to different conclusions about what is the political or moral good.
Even within academia, there's not a whole lot of people who would give a defense of a return to traditional gender roles, that women should be kept out of the workplace, or that that homosexuality should be criminalized, or that war is heroic and manly and thrilling and spiritual, and that humanity will become decrepit if we ever have peace.
In the moral and political realm, it is almost impossible to reach meaningful consensus on a widespread scale. There's always going to be significant disagreement. This is my basic point.
How about the desirability of a Marxist-Leninist command and control economy and political system?
The point is, it's not that the new ideologies that have appeared and the old ideologies that have hung on have fought with each other, and we've had some sort of dialectical process that has led to a consensus.
I think it's an exaggeration to say that no one agrees with anyone else on any first principle. If you look at the UN Sustainable Development Goals, every country, 193 countries, agreed on which way the world ought to go. That is, poverty should be reduced, safety should be increased, access to clean water should be increased, child deaths should be decreased, infectious disease should be decreased. There's an awful lot of agreement.
I just don't think, Steve, there's any disagreement on issues of safety, health, and sustenance. That's not the issue. We're talking about moral and political principles here. We're talking about first principles, what comprises the good life. That's where the real disagreement
Wait,
is.
I guess I'm not seeing that. Isn't fewer children dying a moral principle? That is, that we ought to have fewer children dying. It's good to have fewer people dying. It's evil to let kids die if you can prevent it.
No, I think that's so obvious as to not even be interesting. I mean,
well, wait a second. But then those are first principles that everyone agrees on.
You didn't need the Enlightenment to produce that, right? The argument here is the Enlightenment and using our critical faculties changed things. We were finally able to make moral and political progress. I think from time immemorial, people have understood that, young children dying is a bad thing, and what we should do is try and keep them alive for as long as possible.
Well, but we did have things like, slavery. And
to continue watching this video, click the link in the top left or in the description below. Or visit iai.tv for more debates and talks from the world's leading thinkers on today's biggest ideas.